Where I am now, better than before. Through those open doors, where I am now. Where I am now, I'm in a special place. I'll tell you all the place. Where I am now. It's now time for the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. That's FYI Radio Show with your host, Miss Yolanda the Lady Hinton. I'm Ed Everett, the co-host. The music that you hear in the background is none other than Miss Yolanda the Lady Hinton, Where I Am Now. And if you'd like to see us live at WGPL 1350 Studio, WMVA 88.9 FM Studio, all you have to do is go to Edward Everett's Facebook page, Miss Yolanda the Lady Hinton's Facebook page, and guess what? You can see us live right here in the studio. And if you want to hear us all over the globe, all you have to do is go to 1400 AM, 1350am.com, click and listen live. And now I want to introduce to some and present to others the host of the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world, Miss Yolanda the Lady Hinton. And a pleasant good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. E. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Would you, could you, will you be my neighbor?
Let's welcome our neighbors. Let's welcome WGPL 1350 AM listeners.
Peace 95.3 FM, WPCE 1400, WMVA 88.9 FM. Good morning.
Facebook Live is on and popping. Let's also welcome Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. And we promise we'll shout you out.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Like, share, comment, subscribe. We're on 2 channels on YouTube. That's at FYI Radio Show host Yolanda Hinton and Cristo Records 1, CRISTO Records 1. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe. And today we promise we'll shout you out.
Shout out.
Shout it out. It's Fun Friday. It's the weekend. I hope you all are going to have a marvelous weekend. So much going on. But I tell you what, in the Hampton Roads area, it's going to be pretty hot. 91 degrees today, 91 degrees tomorrow. I hope you all are ready for the warm. It'll break down a little bit after that, but it's going right back up. We're still in summer. Don't get it twisted. You know, some people think because we feel that little shift, it's still the summertime until the fall comes to town.
That's right.
I tell you what, this is FYI's Fun Friday segment. What's in your closet? Issues concerning women. But I tell you what, I can't talk about that yet. We got to talk about last night. Talking about drama. Now, we did sports talk on Wednesday. But today we just have to mention last night, Thursday, Super Bowl, NFL kickoff. Not Super Bowl, but the NFL's kickoff. It was amazing. We saw the Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles play a really, really good game, but not without drama. Miss Lee, what you think about your team?
They played a good game last night.
Played a good game, but it wasn't good enough that they didn't win. But it was not just about the game. You know, they looked good. They came out. Each team looked really good. Guys were ready. You could feel it. You could feel the energy. But throughout the game, there was a lot of drama, spit, fight, carrying on. I mean, it was just absolutely, what was that?
Well, that's the beef. That's the beef that you have when you come into different stadiums. When you go into different stadiums, you have beef. They got beef with the Cowboys. And so the Cowboys had beef with Philadelphia Eagles.
Spitting
So
beef.
it was somebody else spitting. Both of them spitted,
Absolutely.
and both of them they wasn't. One was spitting at the other, and the other was just spitting. Period. Was spitting on the ground, but not directly at the.
Was he
at the
sending a
other.
message though? Why are you spitting in front of folks? Was it the time to spit?
Well,
That was Dak from the Cowboys. He thought he would spit first. He spit on the ground. Was he sending a message? And then
they all spit out there.
Then the other one turned around and
spit on him.
Spit. I mean,
well, the referee saw it also. When you see the referee see it all, and the referee did what they did, they are punished. You got kicked out of the game.
That's right.
Not only that, you get a healthy fine for spitting.
Absolutely.
So why they didn't catch both of them? They didn't do it to both of them because only one spit on somebody else like children.
From the Philadelphia Eagles coming out there, I thought that was quite embarrassing. Coming out there, you all are champions, and you all spitting. Both teams, y'all spitting. What you spitting about? It's the thing about it is, when you are doing a job, you need to keep your feelings sometimes out of it because it makes you look so silly. These are grown men, and these are champion men. These guys can play. Also, they wouldn't be in the NFL, but they're taking the time to show their feelings when they should be playing ball.
Well, and they played ball last night. They had a good game after they cleared the air. They played football.
You're getting paid to play ball, not to sit down and spit on one another. That ain't what you're there for. But I tell you what, if you all tune in on Monday, you're gonna hear about the highlights of this kickoff game. But then there's some other games. We got Kansas City, and who else? They're going overseas.
Right, they're going over to Brazil.
Absolutely, Kansas City and Brazil and others. I tell you what, this is going to be a good season if this is a foretaste of what we can expect. But please join us on our Monday Sports Talk. We're going to talk about that and more. And that's all I got to say about that. But in the meantime, this is FYI's Fun Friday segment. What's in your closet? Issues concerning us women. Our FYI Fun Friday hot topic is there a link between the Me Too movement and the Epstein story? Woo! I tell you what, this is a story that you would think would go away. Mr. E, it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. We have this thing that's just it's just continuing to just catch more wind, and it keeps going more and more and more. But we've heard about the Me Too movement and what it's all about, and there is a link, definitely a link between the two. Let's talk about the Me Too movement first and how it started. Tarana Burke, she started the Me Too movement in 2006, long before it gained widespread attention in 2017 with the Me Too hashtag, Me Too. The hashtag started by Alicia Milano after sexual SA accusations against Harvey Weinstein became public. Burke's movement focused on empowerment through empathy for survivors of S violence, using the phrase "Me Too" to create a sense of solidarity and reduce shame. How does that meet up? We are in the midst of another controversy, which is the Epstein story. And it's talking about the Jeffrey Epstein story and the women's movement, how they're closely linked, with the case serving as a stark example of abuse of power against women and girls. This story highlights issues of systematic failure, power dynamics, and the pursuit of justice, often intersecting with the hashtag Me Too movement. Some of the key intersections with the women's movement: failure of justice and elite immunity, leniency. For years, Epstein and his co-conspirators operated with purity, using wealth and influence to evade significant legal consequences. In 2007, a plea deal was struck with federal prosecutors that was lenient and kept the victims' abuse in invisible?
Well, when you get to talking about the Me Too movement, we first of all let's let our listening audience know that this Me Too movement is a social movement
Yes.
and it's awareness campaign against sexual abuse, sexual harassment, and rape cultures in which survivors shall share their experience of sexual abuse and their sexual harassment. It's an organization where if you've been harassed sexually, you have someone abused, you have someone that you can dialogue with. Now, when you started looking at this sexual movement, that's what's going on around the world. And then you start looking at Jeffrey Epstein. You'll find the story that with the story and the woman movement are closely linked, with Epstein case serving as a shock example of abuse of the power against women and girls. So now let us tell our listening audience, what did Epstein do?
Oh, you just said it. He abused power by trafficking young ladies. One of the things that really stand out with this story is the fact that those that are rich and famous, they feel like it's a lot of leniency when it comes to um, sentencing. And so the case came to court, found guilty, but like we reported in 2000, the beginning of 2000, 2007, a plea deal was struck with federal prosecutors that was lenient and kept the victim's abuse invisible. Now, the link, here you are dealing with women's issues, and here you are on this other side where people are covering up, protecting those that are rich and famous, and making sure the voice of women are not heard. And that's where the fight, that's where the Me Too movement comes in, with making sure they can stand up against things like this. Now, if you notice in the news now, Mr. E, you got the victims. Now, you can't, this is the thing about it. You can try to keep a story down, and you can try to keep things, out of the public eye, but eventually it's going to come out. Now, let's go where it started. This Me Too movement, of course, like I said, came out, was doing a lot of things, been out for a while, but certain things triggered it to get bigger. All right, all of a sudden, somebody is dealing in a partnership with the powers that be. Powers that be, and that person falls out, and immediately that person says, that person's name is in the Epstein file, and that really resurrected this thing in the news now. And if you notice it, you can't put it out, you can't water it down. It is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But women are now standing out. Those victims are standing up and saying, wait a minute, if you think you're going to keep us in the closet again, if you think you're going to sit back and abuse us again, you got another thing coming. They are fighting to be heard, and they will be heard. Now, you have this case in front of Congress, and some of the Republicans, a lot of the Democrats said, wait a minute, let's find out what happened. Let's find out what's in there, who's in there, and who's been protected, and how they've been covering up. The powers that be, they say, have allegedly have covered up a lot of these things, and it's time for this thing to come out. That's how you link it. You link it with a movement that are for women, women's rights, and against abuse of women. And then over here, you have people that want to continue to keep women's voices shut, and they want to keep the public from finding out how abuse starts and how abuse continues, and how people can continue to reinvent abuse if you don't do something about it.
Well, when you begin to look at this Me Too movement, it was one of the powerful movements that was out there in 2017. They started out there with women's rights, and then this last election that we had, there were also so many movements or so many things that happened that in this last election. Now, my question to you is that where are the Me Too movement women at now?
They're still out here. They have been out here absolutely since 2000. Like I said,
17.
it was founded by Tarana Burke in 2006. It has been out there. It's still out there. And of course, with this particular story, it is going to come out more stronger than ever. What happened in 2017, like we said, the movement became empowered through empathy for survivors of SV, sexual violence, using the phrase Me Too to create a sense of solidarity and reduce shame. This movement is still there. That's why you have the women that see. Let me say this: because of the Me Too movement, and because you people fight to hear the voice of women, these women are now bold enough to come out and say, "Look, let me tell you what happened." Let me tell you, they have a cushion. When you talk about the Me Too movement, you have a cushion now. You have a cushion for women to sit back on and say, listen, we're together on this thing. That happened to you. It happened to me. It happened to that other lady. We can come together and we can tell our story. And we don't care about the powers that be, because the powers that be don't care about us.
Do you think that they're only trying to get their voices heard? Are they trying to quit somebody? Are they trying to get rid of some people in higher places? Or because if you look at what Trump said he can do whatever he wants to do, and there's no repercussion. If that is the case, that for the Me Too movement to pull him down.
I don't think they I don't think they want to pull him down. One of the ladies said, "Come and uh, become one with us," in saying that these things should not happen, and these things should not happen in the future. And so that's why, I mean, we can't keep having these stories of these people consistent. We just had one with the Diddy case. We just had one Weinstein. We just had one with R. Kelly. We keep having these things of men and the lady that's in the Epstein case abusing other women. We just can't keep hearing this story. It's time to do something about it so this trafficking can stop. We have a terrible problem. We've had a guest up here on FYI radio show to talk about trafficking and how it starts, how it festers, how it can be such an animal, and they're trying to get control of it, and it is something that is one of the hardest things to do. You got so much covering up, you have money involved, you got the powers that be, you got people that turn their head to all this abuse and stuff. Some people say, I see it, but I won't snitch, I won't say nothing. You got folks that are part of it that know how to cover up. All people are saying to the president of the United States is let the information out. Let us know who these people are that are abusers. Let's find out if they're still abusing. Let's find out if they're still around. And let's find out how we can stop this from happening to anyone else. We're talking about children now. We're talking about young people. We're talking about teenagers. And if people sit back and think that's cute, then I don't know about them. If they feel like this is just women running and wagging their mouths and tongue, then I feel sorry for you. This is something that you would not want to happen to your children, your grandchildren, your niece, your daughter, whoever. You don't want these things to happen, but you got people that sit back and prey on young women, on women as a whole, on men, even men. They traffic men. We don't want to keep hearing these horror stories, Miss D.
I know one person that you can't do anything to now because he's gone by the way of Sandustin, and he was a prime target for this trafficking, that Harvey Weinstein.
Weinstein is still around. You're talking about Epstein.
Epstein.
Epstein was found guilty, but that's the point. Now he was had given that lenient sentence, but guess what? It's been reported that while he was out and able to go to work, he was still doing his mess. They got him back in prison, and what happened? He committed suicide allegedly. He is still known as a predator, as a trafficker, guilty. His name, that's how his name is going to go down. He didn't get away with nothing. He was found guilty. And this other lady that is involved, that was in jail. Now, this is where the powers that be, you can kind of look at them and question, like, wait a minute. If this woman is found guilty, why has she been taken to a more lenient place to sit back and mock these women that have gone through this since they were young girls? And so that's why the story gets bigger. You still have the cover up, you still have the foolishness, you still have folk that sit back and think that it's okay to do things to children, and you can't get, you're trying to get justice. You got to continue to fight for justice when you got so many people that are looking and mocking, the fact that women go through and people and children go through these things like abuse.
That's right. And that's all over the world. They've been trafficking for years and years, putting them on trains, putting them on buses, locking them up in hotels, transfer them across the borders through this place and that place. Now, and these folks who with power that may be, they know that they are not doing what they're supposed to be doing, that is right. Even down to allegedly the president of the United States. And when Diddy's stuff came out, when all that Hugh Hefner stuff came out, you'll find that there has been a lot of big time leaders. When Hey got caught up in that, we found out he was a part, that was the leader, that was names that was being dropped, that was a part of. Now he did his time in the jailhouse. Epstein, he's in the jail, was in the jail, died August the 10th. Then you have a lady that's a part of, that knows something, and is the president of the United States going to give her pardon?
We shall see. But they talk about the two-tier justice system. The case exemplifies how powerful, well-connected individuals can manipulate the legal system, undermining the pursuit of justice for victims. This has galvanized survivors and advocates to demand transparency and accountability from the government. You also have ongoing advocacy, and that's where we talk about the Me Too movement, where, decades later, survivors are still fighting for justice and accountability for those involved. Rallies at the U.S. Capitol are a recent example of these efforts to release government files and pressure lawmakers. Then, who was targeted? Targeted vulnerable youth. Epstein's recruitment specifically targeted the vulnerable, often poor, homeless, underage girls and young women who he believed no one would listen to. Did you hear that?
That's
no one
right.
would listen to. And that's what people do, abusers do. They want to sit back and they want to do their thing. And they figured, hey, I'm in high places. Who in the world would listen to some poor folk?
That's
Who
right.
would listen to this? This demonstrates a predatory pattern common in trafficking and abuse, where abusers target those with the least power.
And that's what happened to a lot of people out there today, in the world today. These children thinking that life is a whole bowl of cereal. When you disobey your parents, and then sometimes you run out of your mom and daddy them house, then there are some folks that's sitting by there that's daily targeting vulnerable youth, like Epstein, recruiting, specifically targeting vulnerable, often, like you say, poor and homeless, underage girls and underage women and young women who believe no one will listen. Just because they tell you that they're your family. We are family. You can say what you want to do. You don't have no curfew time. You can stay out, wear the clothes like you want to do. Then they'll get you into a trap. So that's how that begins, and then they started transporting you. Now it become a big leaguer, and that's your way of living. That's your way of life. Now there are so many folks that has been abused and hurt behind it. Now that they want to change lane, they want to tell the story about what's happening and what's going on. Do you think that some of these folks that's in the Me Too movement, like Bert and other folks that was a part that's speaking out, was they a part of this trafficking? Were they connected with it?
What do you mean by were they connected?
Just like, for example, why is Miss Burt is when she started it in 206, was she a part of being trafficking?
I don't know about trafficking. You all can Google her story. She's been on a lot of shows and things like that. Uh, Being a victim of some kind of abuse, of course, will inspire a movement. But also, when you can't get justice, you got to continue to fight. And then when you see others, you advocate for others because you know and you relate to what they go through. And so, in some kind of way, I'm sure that's what's going on. But any woman can say, look, whether it's happened to me or not, I don't want it to happen to anybody else. And that's how you can start a movement. I think about with the anti-bullying movement, I might not have been a victim of bullying, but when you see a problem, there are some things that you should put your hands to do. Whatever you find to do, you need to do it. If you see problems in the community with trafficking, you need to do something to help. If you see bullying, if you see something happening in the community, you should have enough in you to say, wait a minute, some of these things need to be changed.
And that's what need to be done. These folks could eliminate this, stop, nip this in the bud before it get to be where it's supposed to be. There are so many children. These right now they got these Amber Alerts and out there on the streets. You can rest assured that some of these folks are recruiting folk, are going out here catching these young folks and giving them what you don't want to, going against what you believe or what you tell them to do. And now they're out there, they're out and about, and they're now controlled by folks out there in the streets. When I begin to look at P. Diddy, when I begin to hear what the president of the United States said, that what he could do and nobody would catch him, nobody would say anything to him, that should been a stop in election time. They should have stopped him. There should never been another term that he should have to go through in life. That should never been him in the White House, or folks who have that kind of status, because I believe that it's taken away what the qualification of a president or a person may be.
Well, I tell you what he can do is to drop those files so people can see how it got started, how you can do something about it, and make sure it doesn't happen to anybody else. We have this woman, Ghislaine Maxwell, his accomplice, and she's alleged to have helped groom victims. Now, this is the thing: these folk don't come with evil in their eyes. They come as sheep in wolves and sheep's clothing. They come just as normal and nice, and so that's why you have to go along and help these movements, because we have predators on every end that are sitting back, being nice to folk, but in the end, they're there to do a number, even on children. And so this is why you want to continue to link what's happening with the Me Too movement, because we want the Me Too movement, along with ourselves, our community, our leaders, to help put a stop to this thing called trafficking and make sure these things don't happen. Do you know how many victims there were? So many young victims, Mr. E. And so we need to, the movement, we need to connect to the Me Too movement. We need to connect in helping women to stand up and speak out about things that are happening.
That's what you need to do. And there are should be some numbers that they could call to bring exposure to them. I've been looking at a lot of women these days in time that's giving signals to let folks know that I'm being abused. I need some help. So keep your ears and eyes open and watch what folks are doing so that you can help somebody to come out of whatever they're going through.
Absolutely. So look, we're going to see you all on Monday Sports Talk. Make sure you join us at 9:30. And look, make sure you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. We'll see you then.
For the past 30 minutes, you've been listening to the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. That's the FYI Radio Show with your host, Miss Yolanda Hinton. And for more information, best sponsor, sit in the and sit in the audience. All you have to do is email us your email, and we'll email you back. That's FYI Radio Show live at gmail.com, and we'll let you know what to do. And for more information, give us a call, 757-714-7861. Don't forget to have a wonderful weekend. Bye now.
All right, all right, all right. Look, this is a serious matter, and we don't want these things to happen. If you know anybody that you feel is being trafficked, bullied, or abused, you've got to speak up and speak out. This is what these ladies are doing. They're speaking up, they're speaking out. You have predators, you have abusers, you have bullies that will try to take and isolate children, isolate women, isolate men, and they try to do a number on them behind people's back in secret. They first get their confidence and everything, and then all of a sudden they now want to treat people like bad. They want to now do bad things to you. They want to take it and then they feel like they have something over your head as they abuse you. And so we've got to stand up in some kind of way. If you see anything, if you hear anything, there are a lot of hotline numbers. There's the Me Too movement that you can Google. This information is online. You can Google that as well and keep up and stand up and pray for women and children that and men have been victims of abuse.
One of the hardest things, Ms. Hinton, is folks to tell folk. Folks are afraid to tell folks what's going on and what's happening. But somewhere down the line, they have to come to a screeching halt where they got to let folks know, because that's somebody's child. Mm-hmm. That's somebody's son or daughter that's out and about that we're allowing. What happened to the good neighbor system? What happened to the good community system? We need to bring that back and say, I'm not going to say too much to that child because I don't want that family to jump me. So they leave these young folks alone, even though they know that they're wrong, that they don't want to be fussed out or cussed out or whatever. But the Bible lets us know that we're supposed to be our brother's keeper.
Absolutely. So look, we got some upcoming shows, FI After Dark. Hopefully, Mr. E, you're going to be ready with your around the community. You got to let us know what you're going to do around the town, community news and events. Jason Baker said he'll be ready in September with cryptocurrency, money, and more. We're going to definitely talk about bullying. October is the month coming up for bullying. We're going to talk about bullies and how they isolate you and try to do a number on you behind people's back. Also, we have relationships. Everybody want to talk about relationships, but I'm telling you, hot topics. And this was one of the hot topics that we did today. Yolanda Hinton, hot topics. hot topics, stuff that's going on in the news, stuff that's going on in the entertainment world, things that are happening in real time. Those hot topics will bring you as well on FYI After Dark. Don't forget Wednesday, What's Under the Hat Men Issues. We are looking for guests for our topics. If you have a great topic, if you want to be a special guest, Mr. E will give you that information. And then our Fun Friday topics, women's issue. We're going to be doing some things. I have someone in mind that I talked to come on for our FYI Friday women's issues, women's health issues actually, and we're going to be scheduling her as well. Monday Sports Talk. Mr. E, we've got to get a good lineup of folk to come on. We may not have them on every Monday, a guest, but we are in a new season, NFL, and we want it to be fire. So if you know anybody that is a lover of football, that gives a great interview or involved in sports in some kind of way, we need that information. Please follow us on social media, and please, if you want to be a special guest, internal sponsor, Mr. E has that information.
If you want to be a special guest internal sponsor, all you have to do is give us a call at 757-714-7861 or email us at fyradioshow@gmail.com.
Look, be blessed. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. SAANV_JOSHII join us. Sheila and all you all, thank you for being on. Have a blessed weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday. Bye now.
2 up, 2 down. Bye now. Just leave that stuff there. Come back.